Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FSL Wild Rift Open 3. We're here for our third series of the day, our third and final series actually, which is a quarterfinals game between Space Gamer KALLYX going up against GUREN.
Space Gamer KALLYX, if you think that sounds familiar, indeed they were third in Open 1 and Open 2, and Gerard and I casted them as well.
Mhm.
So they are definitely coming in as a very strong team. The question really is, can they make it past this round and can they break away from that third place curse? Because they did finish first in their group, they went 5-1. So that's a very commanding scoreline compared to GUREN, who maybe you could say is the underdogs coming in here from Philippines. They were formerly Empress Phoenix and they did take part in Open 2 actually. It's just that they finished 3-1 in their groups, which was pretty good, and they tied up one series. So they have quite a tall order here going up against Space Gamer KALLYX from Thailand.
Yeah, that's right, and Space Gamer KALLYX as well. In their group, they went 2-0 against Bellatron IC, the team that we saw win the previous series. So they were able to win against that. So things looking pretty good for them. We do see that Lucian first pick again, a trend that we've started to see today after the second series. Looks like Space Gamer really placed the emphasis on that one as well.
It seems like teams are not willing to ban him out. What is banned, however, is Ziggs as well as Galio and
Mhm.
Javan from the side of Space Gamer KALLYX. Now, if they pick this solution and with an Enchanter support and an Olaf, they are going to need Engage because as we saw in the last series, what really bit V Gaming ladies in the behind was
In
that
the
they did
behind,
not
yes.
get any hard engage. And GUREN here, it looks like a repeat, right? We see that Corky, we see Camille, and it's really good engage on the side. It's very good peel for the Corky from using Brom, and now they have double engage. So you have Wukong as well as Camille.
Whoa.
And Space Gamer gonna respond, wow, with that singed.
Singed. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. I did not expect that.
Did not expect that at all.
Whoa. Okay. This is also something I didn't expect. Katarina. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That is some new picks right here.
Yeah.
The wow. Okay. That's that's definitely very interesting. You can see that this is the first Lulu or an Oriana as well that we've seen. These are mostly new picks here inside of Space Gamer, at least for what we've seen for today. Over the side of GUREN as well, things looking a little more traditional, but how can I say it's traditional when they have a Katarina? Am I right?
The thing is, for GUREN, if you look at their wombo combo, picking Katarina here is not a bad idea. You have Wukong, you have Camille, and you have Braum as well for the additional slows and his knockup for the ultimate. It's really gonna be on Katarina to go in on those low HP bars, which you expect Corky would have already lowered by the time the fight starts.
Mm-hmm.
So you expect her to go in there and clean house. Whereas on the side of KLX, we talked about that they need engage, right? They do need engage because it's a Lucian, Lulu, and you also showed that it's an Olaf. So you have a ball carrier and you're gonna rely a lot on that Oriana ultimate. And then you have Singe, who wow, it just came out of left field.
Yeah.
Who knows what Andy will do here? A lot of potential for Singe to disrupt the fight, disrupt the Camille, disrupt Katarina.
Mhm.
So I think it's gonna be a really exciting game when the team
Yeah.
fight starts.
Also, don't forget that there's a Lulu present who can speed up the Olaf, can speed up the Singed as well, and can even polymorph the Katarina, or even her shields can stop the Katarina from taking out someone who's low. And if she can stop Katarina from getting one reset, they can shut her down very easily. So I'm going to be looking at this Lulu and how she makes use of her shields and her ultimates. Yeah. Also, there's a lane
And
swap happening right
already,
now.
yeah, lane swap because want to shut down this Singe as early as possible. GUREN is the one who initiated that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't want to let this Singed get away with any of that nonsense that Singed does. So they're
Don't
gonna
want
be
him to proxy the wave and then starve
yeah.
out their opposing Baron later, so instead they're gonna be happy with the lane swap. Meanwhile, Camille there
Oh.
at the bottom, probably faring a little bit better than the Singe.
Actually,
Looks like she did manage to get some CS off and is hovering around experience range, which is the most important thing.
yeah, but look at where
But
this Lulu is. Lulu has decided that she's gonna move up to the top lane and support this Singe instead. Besides, hey, Lucian is probably fine in that 1v1. There's no kill threat from the Camille, so can just come up here and help to guarantee that at the very least Andy is able to pick up that wave. Because right now on the bot side, I believe Camille was forced to flash away from the Olaf. Really not having a good time right there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see whether this lane swap works out for GUREN, because since she's level 3, I think in terms of experience, everyone is still pretty happy. Of course, Lulu had to sacrifice a little bit. She is level 2 compared to Brock's level 3.
Yeah.
But Lulu seems like she's just gonna stay.
Yeah, it seems like KALLYX actually is in trouble because KALLYX has no mana. They're forced to pop both subs just from that one flip. And yeah, Singe is doing definitely a lot better now thanks to the presence of this Lulu. If you look at the gold, Singe has about 300 more, but it's probably about one extra wave compared to the Camille, who at this point is losing even more minions to the tower as we speak.
Yeah, Camille is getting absolutely no support, which also means that Lucian is free farming. That's why at the end of the day, we're gonna have to see whether this lane swap really works out for the side of GUREN, because Space Gamer KALLYX showing a little bit of adaptation here, deciding that Lulu would be paired with Singe instead, and giving that Lucian that free farm because he is a very mobile AD carry. He can take care of himself, as we see right here.
Also, if you look at the pathing of the junglers, Space Gamer and GUREN have basically cut the jungle in two. They're doing vertical jungling right now, which means that Olaf is consistently in the bot side and Wukong is consistently in the top side. And I think that's working out better for the Lucian because the Olaf has been able to do some real work there in terms of helping to zone the Camille and stop her from farming. But now things have kind of swapped back. We see that KALLYX is back in the bottom lane again, and Lulu has made the recall and is likely to pass down as well.
You know, it seems like they recognize that GUREN it's not really working out for them. They can't really stop this Singe, especially if Space Gamer KALLYX invested Lulu on the top side, and Lucian might just be running away with the game with all that gold and farm.
Yeah.
So GUREN recognizing that, also adapting, you know, they're all reading the game really well, and that's it. The first dragon is alive, so we might get our first team fight right here because everyone already has their ultimates at level 5 to level 7.
Yep, as KALLYX says, ready to fire! So he's got the package and it's coming down. Is that a good KALLYX impression? I don't know. I hope so. You know?
Maybe
Yeah,
the package
maybe.
will be used aggressively here. Really interested to see how Katarina fits into this whole team comp, because in theory, as we mentioned, it is possible for her to clean up those low health bars. But GUREN already making the first moves, setting that vision down, but they don't have any wards over the pit.
Yeah, that's true, but they do
Oh,
spot out
and the
those...
blast cone.
Yep. The Camille as well is in the top side, the blast cone over the wall, and now KALLYX are the ones who are in the pit with the extra man to put their Lulu ultimate as well. Katarina gonna start spinning it away. What is happening? That's gonna be the Cloud Dragon going down, but the bars on KALLYX are low. But the bar of the Katarina is even lower because she's dead. And there's no way that she can clean up that one there. KALLYX are gonna pick up the dragon and they're gonna pick up the teamfight win as well.
Oh, that was tough to watch. GUREN, we recognized that the blast cone was still up. We saw this in our previous match, you know, the deadly blast cone.
Yeah,
you have to ward over the wall because they had no vision whatsoever, and some of their wards were already taken out, you know, in the tri-bush and things like that. So I feel like they didn't need to start the dragon so early. They could have sussed out, you know, where is Space Gamer KALLYX, who's gonna use their ultimates first, who's gonna initiate, and then decide from there. Because for GUREN, if they don't have a clean engage, that's where Space Gamer KALLYX can really thrive with this team composition.
Yep, absolutely. Space Gamer KALLYX starting to build up a lead for themselves. And of course, don't forget that GUREN was also one member down. They had their Camille on the top lane who stayed there, while the Singe decided to walk down and help out in those team fights. Oh, things looking pretty sketchy there for GUREN. Once again, Hazel dropping very low. Can the Singe find enough damage? The answer is no, but still disrupting the other two, forcing the flash as well. Mina gonna get flipped, and that's 3 flashes blown. The KALLYX coming out. Can it seal anybody's fate? Relentless Pursuit. No, it's gonna be a flash over the wall there from Elysian, who picks up that 1 kill on the Camille.
It means 5 kills on the board for Space Gamer KALLYX. It is gonna be on them to run away with this game, run away with the Singed, I guess. A lot of running happening there. So that's it. They do have their goal lead. They have Lucian here. Essence Reaver completed.
Yeah, Katarina able to make it out there, but really being quite confident to stand in the lane while you know that there are 3 people standing around. Just able to walk away with a sliver of health there.
The GUREN is on the defensive now. They did not set up that dragon properly, which means that they lost tempo, and Space Gamer KALLYX recognizing that they have some turrets that they do want to take down, and they're all just grouping around this Lucian because he's the one with the Essence Reaver. Orianna has been really good with those ultimates, but as I said, you know, she needs to scale. She has the tier. Leandri's also completed.
Oh, there we go. Lucian has the charge blade as well. That's the 2 items spike that we're talking about. Lucian is a very, very comfortable 2000 gold in front of the Corki right now. So just really in terms of damage and power, definitely it's in the hands of Lucian.
Then the next turret to go down that they want is really this mid and top. But mid is harder because you have 2 wave clear champions facing each other. Orianna and Corki, I think they're just happy to stick here. They're not going to move around because if they do, they're going to lose their priority. So maybe more action will be happening here at the top side of the map as Space Gamer KALLYX already grouping up. They have 3 people. The Camille has to back off unless backup is coming.
Rom is coming up as well. This is the opposite of backup. That's gonna engage right there. The Cyclone coming in as well. Listen, dropping very low, but can the Lucian survive? The answer is no. That's gonna be a 2-man shockwave though, but there's not enough damage to finish anybody off. Space Gamer KALLYX maybe being a little too overconfident there, a little too greedy on that tower, trying to finish it. They lose their Lucian, but they're gonna say, we're not gonna let this stop us. They're gonna make a beeline for the mid lane instead.
Yeah, means mid lane is open. I think they can get it because Katarina can't really wave clear right here. And it's a trade. But I have to say, for the side of GUREN, what's really helping them is this Rom. Like, Dora has been really good with these Rom shields that blocked out a lot of damage. So it protects the team. They have been able to walk out of that top lane safely and not give over any more kills. But the game state is swinging here once again because the next dragon is alive. It is an Inferno. At GUREN, we want to see them set up for it properly, right? We don't want to see them just jump into it and then surprise from the blast code, suddenly Space Gamer KALLYX appears. So both teams, no one is really engaging just yet, but they are posturing.
Yeah, I want to talk a bit about the items here. As we look at, okay, never mind, maybe not able to do that right now. Lucian doing a lot of poke to this Corki. Oh wow, that double crit right there. Absolutely brutal. Andy is going in, pops the Righteous Glory. Look at Space Gamer. I wanted to point out that they have 2 Righteous Glories there on the Olaf and on the Singed. So they can really, really not run away, but run towards the GUREN, charging on full force. Of course, the Righteous Glories are now down, and Andy is trying his best to do disruption. There's going to be a very nice Cyclone there, but it's going to be a full tank Wukong. Does not get the Dragon either. The team fight has begun, though the health bars of GUREN are very low. Wukong is able to survive with a sliver of health. I believe Corki very low as well. Oh, the flip! They're stopping the reset. Corki trying to keep the distance, staying alive, and now it's just gambling and Andy right now, trying to get their way out of the pit. They're gonna be alright. Space Gamer KALLYX pick up the dragon, but they did not have the Lucian in that fight, I believe. So they lost a couple members.
Still not too bad. They do secure the dragon. It was quite a good on the side of GUREN. I think they didn't lose as much as they could have. And
Yeah.
I think they made a very good decision not to chase the Singe. We saw Singe just hover around the river, with that poison on. And GUREN, even though they had 3v2, but don't change the Singe.
Yep, absolutely right. Do not chase the Singe, my friends. Another thing about the items, Wukong here opted to go for a Sunfire Cape first item. It's something that we usually don't see all that much, going for the full tank, not going for a Guardian Angel or a Yoga or a Sterak or anything like that. The fight has begun once again, though that's gonna be the Shockwave on to 2, taking them out. Space Gamer KALLYX are just really charging forward right now with this comp. They've got the Singe and the Olaf with the ball carriers. They've got that Shockwave and they've got the Lulu as well to beat them all up.
And you have Singe zoning out to Katarina.
Yeah.
Oh no, she got grounded.
You might do more than zoning, honestly, at this rate. Taking her down to about
And
half
then
health. Luckily,
Rylai's. Oh.
yeah, she can shun pull away, but this Singe pick, I went and checked out the stats from yesterday and from the day before, and Space Gamer did not play Singed in any of their games so far. So this is perhaps a pick that they have decided to, now it's a good time to pull it out now. Perhaps they have thought about that.
Yeah, I love that compared to Open 2, Open 3, we are seeing a lot more. What's the word for it? The teams are daring to pick these diverse picks or these picks that are not really meta. Because you don't really see Singe right now.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, now that is a meta pick right there.
That's a meta pick for sure. But you kind of.
Down,
Yeah, it's Space Gamer KALLYX mixing up their meta picks together with this Singe. It really says to me that if you don't pull it out onto the playoffs, it means that they were hiding it, and also it's so hard for a team that if you never scrim and you never really play against a team that pulls out things like Singe, sometimes it can make you a bit more uncomfortable, right? You don't really know how to play against the Singe, how do you position in team fights, your execution becomes very different.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Singe is just one of those champions that is really very unconventional and very different from the standard thing that you see. So it really shakes up. It really shakes up the way you play. And if you don't know how to play against it, it's hard. GUREN right now lost 2 of their inhibitor turrets in their previous push as well.
So it feels like one more Barret could seal this deal, because with that Barret, the Space Gamer got so much out of it, 2 inhibitors. And I really do like the team comp that they put together here. You said that there were 2 Righteous Glories, including that speed up from Lulu. They are really here to disrupt the fight. If you think about it, they don't really have hard engage except for that Orianna ultimate. But if you have Olaf running around, you have Singe running around, it's so hard to play against, even though GUREN has hard CC. But when they're split up, it's really hard to fight. And right here, Space Gamer 3 and top and 2 below, there's nothing that GUREN can do.
Yeah, Hazel walking a little forward there, using the decoy, but here's the Righteous Glory Olaf, the flashes, everything. They don't care that he's a full tank, they're just gonna take Hazel out like that. Bro, I'm gonna get shockwaved as well. This is the response on the side of GUREN. What can they do? Katarina was interrupted, there's a lot of damage being landed onto the Orianna, but just not enough because in the backline there, we've got a Lulu to keep her healthy. Elizabeth has decided to walk up all the way, gonna be on that relentless pursuit there. Running straight down, gonna actually use the relentless pursuit skill soon enough. Doesn't even need it. It's gonna be one more auto attack, and Space Gamer KALLYX are gonna pick up the first win in this series up against GUREN.
Congratulations to Space Gamer, showing us a brand new team composition, throwing in that Singe, as well as the Olaf paired with Lulu. And we saw in that very last fight at top, even though Camille tried to jump the backline, this Singe on the Rylai's, he basically was zoning out 3 people, and he can't die. Right? Just because Singe has the ultimate, and Lulu as well, ulting the Singe. So Lulu is actually not there to support Lucian, by the way. It's really the Singe show. And the MVP, right? So Andy here earning the MVP 508, didn't even die once. And Lulu going up there in the early game to help her out, preventing that lane swap from happening. In the end, it bit Guren back.
Yeah, absolutely agree. The lane swap there allowed the Lulu to go and support the Singe, and at that point, right, it was like Olaf was supporting Lucian in the bot lane, and
Yeah,
Lulu was
yeah.
supporting Singe in the top lane. That's really how it went, for the rest of the game.
And it didn't
And
change, right? They didn't
yeah,
change this tactic
exactly,
throughout the game.
and it really
So,
worked out.
and Lucian there, in fact, didn't even go for Serrados or Novoris. Actually, third item was Infinity Age because
Yeah.
was just too far ahead and did the most damage. Elizen right there, 6-1 and
Hmm.
2, a very good spot. So despite the lane swap, as I said, she farmed up. It was free farm against that
Yeah.
Camille, and it didn't seem like it worked out for Guren, even though the theory was there. They wanted to
Yeah.
shut down Singe early, but they just didn't manage to.
They ended up shutting themselves down, honestly, because they forget that Lucian is good in a solo lane as well. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that, it allowed the Lulu to really just leave the Lucian alone. And Lucian versus Camille in a 1v1, it definitely goes the way of the Lucian because of the fact that he's ranged, he has a dash, and Camille generally was just, outraged and everything. So Guren, yeah, they need to figure out a different way to handle this Singe pick right now. They could ban it, of course, or they could think of something to try to counter that. Because I mean, it is match point right now for them, so it's really all or nothing right now. If they don't win this one, then that means that Space Gamer is just gonna move forward to semifinals. And if they do manage to come back, then we will have ourselves a game 3. But we're gonna go for a break now, and when we come back, it will be game 2. Stay, because you don't want to miss it. Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the FSL Wild Rift Open 3. We're here for the second game of the quarterfinals. It is Space Gamer KALLYX, who are one game up above GUREN, who are at match point right now. Of course, we want to go through the bans really quickly here. GUREN banned out Kaiser, Ziggs, and Braum, and KALLYX are now on the red side have opted to ban out Lucian, Jarvan, as well as Galio.
So KALLYX switching sides recognize they don't want to deal with the Lucian, but in return, they are still relying on that Lulu. And we also can see that Guren didn't bother to ban out the Singe because it is a risk, right? It was a very pocket pick. So if they don't do that, here they have the Olaf Seraphine combo. I like what the two teams have been doing here with Olaf because when you draft a jungler like Olaf, you need that support. You need the speeds up and the heals and the shields and everything to empower him. So that's what Guren here is doing to match the Lulu now. So they do have a response to what Space Gamer KALLYX was doing in game 1. Now that's it. That's it. Guren did not ban out the Singe. So
Yeah.
Space Gamer again with that Lulu Singe combo coming in here. The question is, how is Guren going to deal with that? And we saw Seraphine and Nami in the earlier match, and now we're going to see Seraphine and Sona.
It's not just Seraphine and Sona, but it's Seraphine and Sona in the same lane. So the same champion in the two of the same champions in the
Sona and Sona 2.0
yeah
together.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's also something interesting. It's I guess I could see how that might stop Singed later, because I mean Sona can speed up the entirety of her team, so can Seraphine, and Sona can slow down that Singe as well. But that's a very interesting adaptation. Of course, also it's the first time we see Diana as well as a pick, and Vayne as well in the bottom lane there, accompanied by that Lulu Vayne, something that we don't see too often. But look at that Sentinel Vayne skin. I'm excited.
And Diana, as you pointed out, not that much seen right now. But the thing is that Riot didn't do anything to her. So it's quite curious as we transit from 2.3 to 2.4, where champions like Diana, like Garen, we saw them very much in the last patch, and somehow they just fallen out of flavor in this 2.4 because maybe other champions are more popular. People see the need to draft like 380 carries. But she's so strong, and I don't think we should be underestimating any of these picks. So Diana's still relevant in the current meta. Akali here, we picked up another strong champion. It's gonna be a lot of mechanics coming out from both teams. as we see assassins and all these bus champions. And
Yeah.
I guess also
Most.
on the side of Space Gamer KALLYX, a lot of micro since Vayne was also picked up.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely right. Well, it is match point right now for GUREN. They are one game down, so maybe Space Gamer is like, okay, now we're gonna pull out another pick. We're gonna pull out this Vayne, and we're gonna just finish off GUREN with it. Who knows? Anyway, again, and GUREN really need to play their very best, and I guess they have chosen to pick up this Seraphine and Sona bottom lane right now. So really, what's the difference between these champions? I can't tell.
One is better than the other, ever so slightly.
Oh boy, yeah.
So the question will be whether not having an AD carry will hurt GUREN later on. Because for now, Vayne does need to scale up. She's not going to do that much here in lane. It's not like they have kill pressure. But later on in the team fights, they are really all here to support their Olaf, right? It's about the Sona Seraphine combo supporting Olaf while Akali and Renekton somehow try and dive the backline of Space Gamer KALLYX. It's a tall order, but we're curious to see how that will play out.
That's right. There's a bit of a conflict here on the Scuttle Crab right now. Not too sure who got it, but the exhausts are coming out as well. Oh, Hazel dropping really low. It's gonna be first blood for the Vayne. Akali trying to go in as deep as possible to take out Namhom on the Diana, but it's still alive. There's gonna be a double kill for the Vayne as well. Space Gamer KALLYX picking up 3 kills for themselves.
Well, we talked about micro there in the draft, and definitely here, this is where the Space Gamer KALLYX codes are really showing it off. And Sona and Seraphine, they don't do much, right? You see Sona, she goes back, she buys a tier. There's no way that GUREN can fight there, and Space Gamer are so good at recognizing that they had the upper hand. They also use the Uko, the CCs, and the burst damage that came in, and props to Elizant there on that fate.
Yeah, props to her as well for buying this executioner's calling so early on, just knowing that basically all the Sona and Seraphine can do is just heal and heal and heal, instantly shutting that down.
Did you say
them
heal?
No chance.
Oh yeah, heal.
Oh yeah, I did. I think I did say heal. I'm not sure, but yeah.
But you see that fight over Scuttle. If you look at the minimap right now, both Scuttles went over to that Wukong. So
Yep, that's right.
GUREN already in this early game struggling, not because of anything, but really they don't have the damage.
Vayne with this red buff right now, just able to chase Dora down. Oh no, so close!
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. 8 health, very less than that. I think it was like 4 or something. Goodness gracious. Wow.
This is not going according to the game plan of GUREN. You do not want to pick Sona and Seraphine against a Vayne and then come back after one team fight and suddenly she has 2 kills as well as an executioner's calling. That is painful.
When the only thing that you have to CC the Vayne is a Seraphine E that is on like a 17-second cooldown, right? You have already you can't really do anything. Honestly, I find that GUREN's team comp just lacks CC in general. Like, what do they have? They have the Seraphine E, the Seraphine Ultimate, the Sona Ultimate, and the Renekton stun. That's all.
It is very ultimate reliant.
Yeah, exactly. That's not good when Vayne has a tumble on a 2-second cooldown, where she can just press one button and tumble to the side and dodge everything, you know.
But I don't think GUREN would be challenging this.
Oh, just when you say that, when you say that, they go in and they actually steal it. That's gonna be a Sona ultimate as well onto multiple people, but instantly Vayne is just able to kill that Akali and just able to kite forward and backward with the support of that Lulu. That's gonna be a double kill for the Vayne, just on a rampage right now. Still chasing forward with that final hour. Goodness.
Oh, they're stuck on the tower. It is 4v3.
Yeah. They don't really have a way to dive though on side.
Yeah.
And no health either for that matter. They should
just
be pretty
as I
satisfied.
said that they should not be challenging that, because even though GUREN got the Ocean Dragon, it's at a cost. And Vayne, you thought 2 kills was enough? No, now she has 4, because they can't fight. They really just can't fight this Vayne at this point in time. So getting Dragon was the expense of getting Vayne fed.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, that was really just awkward, I would say, because they don't have any realistic damage to take the Vayne down. I mean, yeah, you got Akali, but there's a Lulu to use her ultimate and use her shield on the Vayne. And look at that Vayne once again, that is condemned on the Sona, that's really condemned to death. Just goes down off screen, it really doesn't matter. Things looking pretty rough right now, this Vayne having that constant red buff as well as the Blade of the Ruined King.
And other members of her team, Diana already wrote off Aegis completed, Singe with the mask as well. So GUREN, not even one item on each, maybe only the Blade of the Ruined King or the Cybernecton, who hasn't really had an impact. It's just been blading against Singe. And here Space Gamer has the Herald, really wants to keep up their tempo. If you look at the minimap, they do have some wards in the side of the GUREN's jungle, but they will be targeting the mid lane tower as well as bot lane from now on, because they have already opened up the top side.
Yeah, but one thing that Space Gamer don't really have is a lot of pushing power, I would say, because their only ranged champion is Vayne, realistically. And Vayne's range is not very long. So in order to walk up and hit the turret, you need to have a substantial minion wave, but GUREN have a decent amount of wave clear with that Seraphine. So
yeah, but
it could be a little hard.
GUREN doesn't even have an AD carry, so
okay, that's true.
right?
that's true. That's true.
How do they even gonna touch the towers, even though they have long range AoE ultimates? It was a risk, and you have to give them some credit for that. I really am enjoying how the teams are interpreting this patch 2.4. It has been a very interesting day. You really love it when teams pull out something out of the hat, like this Singe, which seems to be working for Space Gamer KALLYX. Olaf just gonna try and go in, but they really have to just clear the way before they get dived here.
You see that Wukong also has Executioner's Calling. You know, 2 is better than 1.
It's like they're not gonna risk it. Just have to play for the next dragon, I guess, for Space Gamer. They don't really have to force anything because they are ahead. And I feel like the Singe pick, the fact that they did it twice in this series, is kind of like signaling to the rest of the teams to say, hey, if we advance, you're gonna have a lot to think about. And you're gonna have to waste a ban on Singe potentially, which would open up other picks for Space Gamer KALLYX. I think it's really smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And even this Vayne pick right now, Ellison is doing a wonderful job on it, really. 5-0 and 1, you know. Something else that you need to want to worry about if you want to pick like a tank or anything, because Vayne just can absolutely shred you down and destroy you. Saying we don't even need Lucian to go 0-6. I mean 6-0. Oh, that's gonna be a dragon going down to the Wukong. That's a very nice Sun ultimate onto 3 people there. Ellison is very low in the middle of everyone and actually goes down there. The Akali is able to fight the damage. Akali on the sidelines there. Namhorn getting exhausted, flashing away. Nina though maybe a little too far forward. And here comes Andy back in the game with about 200 health on the Singe, but it really doesn't matter because you do not chase into that Singe poison cloud. Space Gamer KALLYX take the dragon, take the team fight as well.
Andy with absolute mastery on this champion. She has been so close, so many close calls, even in the game 1 and here in game 2. She really knows her limits on this champion, and hey, might be her favorite, right?
Yeah, exactly. It takes a master at Singe to run at the enemy team when you have 200 health. You know?
Yeah, and flip them over knowing that they would die. Yeah.
Exactly. That's some confidence, and it's really what you like to see, you know, from a team. You want to see this kind of confidence, very calculated and controlled confidence. So it's not just blindly charging in, but you know exactly what you're doing when you are charging in. You know.
And with that, they've already opened up the map from that exchange. Bolian turret is already down. Space Gamer looking at Baron as the next big objective because it is quite hard for them to push in. The damage is coming out from the side of Zona and Seraphine with that first item completed, 1.5 now. They do have some wave clear now for GUREN, so it's not that easy for Space Gamer to really bulldoze down these turrets. So they're gonna have to try and find picks or play around the objectives and force GUREN to walk in on them.
Yeah, GUREN right now kind of on their last heals, I would say. This of course you can never count them out, but things are looking pretty rough. They don't have an AD carry for themselves. They don't really have a concrete way of really dealing with this Vayne. And look at that, once again they're just gonna get caught out there. There's gonna be Ragnarok and the flash used defensively from Hazel, and that just means that they have even less power right now to defend this turn.
They do have wave clear though, so Vayne just putting down like 2 auto attacks on it, and that's about it. Can't really touch the tower that much more. But Space Gamer, if they riddle this out, I mean, sustain is also on the side of GUREN, right? So
Yeah.
they just need to hang in there again. The heals coming out and desperately trying to clear that minion wave, but not going to get it.
Oh no, that's gonna be a massive Diana ultimate right there. That's Sona down, that's Seraphine down already. Space Gun KALLYX just wiping the floor with their enemies. Here comes the Olaf with the Righteous Glory, but it's too little too late because the rest of your team is dead. You can't charge in like that. That's 4 more kills for Space Gamer KALLYX, and they pick up that turret as well.
They're so coordinated that flank from Diana is really what we wanted to see from other teams that we've seen today, where, you know, if you can't access the backline, you have to find these angles, and they're just playing so well. I mean, this is a top 3 team, right, in the last Wild Rift
Certainly.
Opens. And here, I feel like they do have potential to break the curse because they look so much better. And not only that, they're also showing a lot more adaptation and diversity.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that one. The diversity really is something that I really enjoy. It does get kind of dry to see the same champions over and over and over again, but hey, when they start to shake things up with the Singed and with the Vayne and with the Diana, you know, things are actually interesting. It's really a joy to watch. And they're going to be starting up this Baron right now, and I'm not too sure what exactly GUREN can do to respond to this. We have a Singed to just continue to zone that out. Olaf is pathing up, but pathing straight into that Singe. Oh, that's a 4-man Seraphine ultimate into a 3-man crescendo. But where did the Olaf go? It's the life's greatest mystery. It just already went down. Double kill for that Singe right there. Just no damage on the side of GUREN, and just no way to deal with this Singe, and no way to deal with the Vayne. That's gonna be Baron going down. Space Gamer KALLYX really just running away with
kill.
this game. Absolutely.
Triple kill on Andy on that Singed.
Wow.
You know, whatever Space Gamer did, I could not have foreseen that Singed would be such a key pick for them on patch 2.4, but they're really making it work. And not just Singed in itself, but also Singed together with the rest of the team. You know, Andy's really doing a lot of work zoning them out, not just in this game, but also the last game. So it helps so much for the peel back, for Vayne giving her more space. And even though GUREN landed really big ultimates, they're not tanky enough, firstly, and they also don't have that follow-up damage.
Yeah, this is just... this is the most decisive that we've seen any team so far. And, you know, it really is a signal to everyone else who's gonna come across Space Gamer KALLYX in the semi-finals, or if they make it through all this, of course, and in potentially the finals as well, you know, that they are really not to be trifled with. Right now, 1-19 with 2 dragons, and look at this Andy right now. Olaf shouldn't be consistently running away, you know. Olaf is supposed to go in, not just run from the Singe, but at this point, there's really nothing so much you can do. There are like 4 cannon minions there, just 5 cannon minions there, just tearing apart the turret. They're gonna be walking forward. No wave clear can deal with this right now. You don't need a long-range AD carry when you have this
Oops.
amount of academians. That's going to be Diana going in as well. That's going to be the huge fight to knock two members up. Looks like Space Gamer KALLYX are starting to close out this game. They're going to be closing the curtains on their opponents right here. GUREN with a 20,000 gold deficit are going to be going down. Space Gamer KALLYX are going to be making it into the semifinals of FSL Wild Rift Open 3.
Congratulations to Space Gamer KALLYX. What a interesting game with Cinch leading the charge, literally, in game as well as in person. Because Andy, star player, even though the MVP goes over to Namhom on this Diana, who really found a lot of great flanks. But Andy in these team fights doing so much work. You're finding the picks, flipping the jungler over. Nothing that really Greg could have done. Is 24 kills to 1. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. No chances of any Baron steals and coming back, Not this time. Wow.
And look at the damage there.
Yeah.
Namhom and Diana proving that she really is not out of the league. It is patch 2.4 and she is still strong. So even though yes, Ziggs may be the ones that people look to, a lot of teams tend to prefer all these mages, maybe Ari, but Diana is still a force to be reckoned with. And she just needs to find the right angles, right? And not to mention she also has Lulu. So even though a lot of health bars were dropped in that last fight, she didn't die because Lulu's ultimate.
Yeah, Lulu's ultimate also synergized with her ultimate because she pulled people in, knocked them up, and Lulu knocked them up one more time. And at that point, really, and with the Wukong as well, it just becomes a bouncy castle for GUREN, and that means they just really cannot do very much. Of course, it is a very commendable attempt for them to,
for sure,
try with that Sona Seraphine adaptation.
Yeah.
Adaptation. But unfortunately for
them,
but
the thing about Sona Seraphine. Yeah, especially when your Vayne suddenly gets 2 kills in the beginning of the game, that was not planned, and unfortunately from there, Space Gamer managed to snowball the game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Space Gamer KALLYX are gonna move on to the semifinals. Gonna be super excited to see them tomorrow. And speaking of which, that is the last match for today. So from us, from me, and Tanya as well, I of course. Escape Artist. Tanya, you wanna shout out any of your socials or anything?
Well, is there really a need to? Because everything is Tanya May.
Okay, everything is Tanya May for Tanya May.
Everything is Tanya May.
Yeah. For me, you can find me Escape Artist on Facebook. You can find me on TikTok as well, Escape Artist Casts. I post League and Valorant content as well. And so does Tanya on her TikTok. Which I believe is actually not just Tanya May, right? It's Tanya May Esports, I think.
Right.
Yes. And from both of us, from both of us, thank you very much for tuning in. Do tune in tomorrow because we're going to be having the semifinals and the finals as well. Once again, this is the FSL Wild Rift Open 3, sponsored by Yahoo, supported by Intel. I'm Jordan, Escape Artist. That was Tanya May, and we've been your casters. It has been an absolute pleasure. See you guys tomorrow for more exciting games.